This day 1099 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. That was sponsored by Shir Mor Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Please call me directly. We very greatly appreciate it. They were doing your day, Simon Kuf, Steve Dalit, to Steve Gimel. Birya. What is a birya? Mikra Kagona Mala or Talas. It's a ant or a worm. Afilu Parosh. Even a Parosh is a type of bug. A kino or a louse. Of tame or a trafe bird. Zvuv or fly. Begidanosha. Begidanosha, which is an entire unit. Every minachai. And a limb from which is ripped off a live animal. The beit sheish ba'afrach, an egg which has a chick in it, etc. Abi shemesa bir, even though the creature is dead, kol shlema, as long as it's whole, complete. Kriya bir, it's called a bir. Avim nechsar min ha'ever, if it's missing a limb, batal shem bir me'aleh, loses the name chalei shem birya. Avil nechsar ever shem shamat libo. Even if the missing limb is one which is not one which will whose absence will kill it. So here Malchus have a fake of the Dina. In terms of Malchus, it's a suffix. It's a suffix. In other words, perhaps he would be Chai Malchus, but lenient bittul, these battle b'shishim. In terms of bittul, that suffices. Like we said, it's the base. The kosher is suffix all kula. Since beer is rabbanon, anytime there's a doubt, we go that beer is not batel. Is the rabbanon. Anytime there's a doubt, we're like meko. Ve'enchil ben suffix etzem suffix. There's no difference in respect between a suffix in the reality of the situation, and a suffix in the halach of the situation. Of Toshin is button these naba b'shchita, but a kosher bird which became an avela in shchita, it was bat shchita, or she treifa, if it's treifa. Chen sheniskor, an ox which is slated to be stoned. Chen chelev, forbidden fats. Chen beta sheish b'kor adam, an egg which has a blood spot. Ain't a birya matam she's borrowed. These are not biryas, for a reason which should be explained. Far beyond the siman chov tesi vav. That's around gam tahora have a birya kshechaya. The Rambam holds that even an animal which is a Torah animal is a birya when it's alive. If ever she maintains the difference between Tamei and Torah is ain't other but is only when it's dead. The B'Tamei have a birya av she'ein b'chul kazayis. It's a B'Tamei. It has it's a birya even if it doesn't have a kazayis in its like an ant. The Torah it's her kazayis. It's a kosher animal. It requires a kazayis. V'shem birya mo'ilo l'tzarif ha'tzomos v'ginim l'kazayis. And the name birya is effective to that, even though they're not edible, to join the bones and the sinews in order to comprise that kazayis. Talmud shel davar be'arnu sham b'siyat ishmael. This is explained there. In Simon Chavtes, which we do not do. At least not part of this cycle. Hey, mitnaya birya, one of the conditions of the birya, who shiemi brias neshama abayim, it should be something which is one time alive. It came with something alive. Well, actually, I guess it really means here something which contained in the neshama a living soul or a living force, and or came from essentially a living force. Lapuki davar ma'abah milukakas was something which comes from something which goes in the ground. So like wheat and barley, which are prohibited, such as in if they grew in a vineyard. It has to be something which is also from the beginning. Lafuki oftar, as opposed to a kosher bird, she's nabel only traf, which became nevela or treifa, the shor nisko, or an ox which is doomed to be stoned because it killed somebody. But if you treifa me better, and even if it's treif from the time it is born, lo mikri isam itchas briyaso. It's not called also from the beginning of its creation. Binami min. It has to be also the type. It's also from the beginning of its creation. When the Rambam, while it's alive, an tar creature is called the birya because of its significance. Let's have the Simon Chavtes. Chainso Shia Davar Sharak Shu Sholim Shmo Alav. As we say, when it has its name only when it's whole. Of Chalko, if it gets divided up, Avad Shmo loses its name. Can go off, such as a bird. When it's complete, it's called a bird. Chalko, it's cut up, Nikra Chatichas Basov. It's called a piece of meat, of chicken meat. Chain called Birya Kainhu. Every beer is like this. Gagir Nashim Shlimuson Nikra Gid. Gid Nashim, when it's complete, it's called a Gid. Ukshis when it's split up, Nikra Chatichas Gid, it's called a piece of a Gid. Lafuki Chalev, supposed to Chalev. The Ben Chatichas Gdoil and Nikra Chalev. Chalev is always called Chalev, whether it's large or small. Also, the Chalev is not all created in one place. In other words, there's no hefta of Chalev. It's not like a birya which is in one place, like a hefta of a hefta of a birya. We can use that term. This birya has to be a whole. It's been chopped up, or dissolved, or neither man ever if it's missing a limb. But Shem birya no longer is a chale shem birya. The da'ish no sheikar ginanash rak ala kaf bilvad. The ikar ginanash is only that which is on the round part of the thigh. The growth of arba etzbos, shor gadol, which is 4 etzbos wide in a large ox to kevesh, in a lamb which etzbos 2 etzbos. So obviously, it's the birya there is not the entire nerve throughout the entire thigh, etc., but it's only part of it, and that's what they call the birya. Kevesh etzbos lamb to 2 fingers. That part is showing. It's called the birya. Vav is by the base of shishma frach have a birya. That which he says that an egg which has a chicken side is a birya. Yes, in the frach have a birya. Some say it's not the egg, it's the chicken. I mean, it's not the egg, it's the chick. It's the base yaisa. Yes, in the base of a birya, the shach says that the egg is the birya. Now, what's what ramifications does it have? She's laska frach of toho. If the chick has been chopped up within it. If the birya is the chick, butler, let me tell you, birya, it's nullified. It's not considered to be a birya. Birya, bates of the birya though is the egg. The fact that inside the chick is cut up, low butler doesn't negate the birya. Avo bates is yesh podam, but an egg which has blood, the chuliyam will have a birya. Everybody is not birya. Shadai ebochius, it still has not yet had a life force within it. Below dami l'gida nashis like gida nashis in the gidim and chiyusa shabachai, because the gidim, the nerves have the life force of the animal from whence they come. Some say that feel b'yesh by frost. Some say even as the chick will have a beard, it's not beard. The older b'toch beitza, while the chick is still in the egg, lo mikri chiyus. It's not called alive. When it comes out, it's a mili mutter, so it's never a birya. That's a Pri Chodesh, and the Shach also inclined to this, and it says also the Rashba wrote this. V'zayin, v'yesh b'zeh sheila, there's a question. How can we say that the halacha is that there's a birya when there's a chick? No matter which way you look at it. We can tell from the outside it's got a chick. So take out that egg. We can't recognize from the outside. How do you know that it was? Well, actually, if you can tell, you can tell it's a chick inside. Take it out. If you can't tell from the outside it's a chick. How do you know there's a chick inside it? Go say maybe, well, the egg split open, we saw the chick. Ray Butler Lamita's birya. It's no longer to be a birya, and then you're going to the assumption that the egg is the birya. Well, that's no. Well, that's let's see what he says now. If we say that the egg is the birya, perhaps originally we saw that from the outside that it's a chicken side. And then the chick got cut up inside of it. And the egg is whole. Now I can recognize she's arva bahar beitzim because it got mixed up in a lot of eggs. And therefore, that's the case where the beer is not bottle. Even though my that probably be able to say the chick is the beer, kosher. It's difficult. The sukkah is battling mitar's beer. When it gets chopped up, it's really no longer a beer. Because I'm received above. Brackets doesn't illuminate much. He says, I'm beer. They've second gimel. She tirates loyrad loma kukushia. Gives an answer which is not sufficient. Perhaps much possible to say the olam be'iyun heitei that if you examine it carefully, yesh like you can recognize on the outside there's a chick inside. Sarah Barbe most baits is mixed in hundreds of eggs. Yesh torach lavli dok kulam be'iyun heitei machutz. It's very difficult to check them systematically and comprehensively from the outside. If we're going to say it's bottle, answer the trouble is that you wouldn't have to go through that bother. But now it's not bottle. He's compelled. Oh, she has to call Bateson. Either all the eggs are going to become master. Oh, leave no kula machim too. It's going to have to check all of them until he finds it. Brackets, he says here, I'm the so Rash B'Shal Masha Memes the Lomash Kachaslo. In fact, you don't have such a scenario. Shkasav El Shon writes, Chada Shariat Makira. You recognize an egg which is a birya, even from the outside. So you don't have to battle its body because you're going to remove it, the substance itself. El Platasa. You just remove the plato. You just need to battle what it exudes. I'm going to show you. But according to what we explained, that you could perceive it and then it fell into the pot. So even though initially you recognize it, then it fell back in the pot and it was no longer, and then you had the problem. Look. Ches, birya is bashim heter, something which is a birya and was cooked with heter. Im eno makir, if he doesn't recognize it, hakol so everything is also. And the sauce is also if it has a taste. You sign a so what you should do is you should sift is the wrong word. Strain the sauce. Makiro, if you can recognize the iser. Fine, like a fly. Zorko tosin. The other pieces, and the sauce has to have 60 corresponding to the birya. He says that that's a birya which is like a treif bird. Avon the mola, but a ant, or zvuv, or a fly, etc. Shein volim musim, which are repugnant things. It ain't so klum about telplate the sun. You don't need anything to negate whatever they are emitting. It's only they themselves which are also not bottom. The David Ace Bar Simon said this is going to be slain later in the simon. So therefore, once you strain it out, you strain out the fly or the ant, there's no problem eating the rest of the mixture. You don't have to be about anything. It's only by a non-kosher bird or such like what gives a good taste that'd be an issue. The Gina Nasha ain't tama oser. The Gina Nasha, its taste doesn't answer. We hold that the certain nerves give off no taste. Avo sham no, but it's oil vaknokono shabo and some sort of cartilage which has within it or some sort of softer part of it. The nerve, I think it's like tubes. Osrim they forbid. So shishim, even though they're abanon, but they still forbid. So shishim connected. Latirot, we need 60 corresponding to them to permit the sauce. Test. Koso tu v'shonach. Tu v'shonach, right, the yerek is bash megido. A vegetable which was cooked with the gida nasha, imakira, if you recognize gida nasha, is also toss it. Chol shar mutar, everything is permissible. Yesh shishim connected shumah, as long as 60 corresponding to the fat of the gid. And if you don't recognize it, so the pieces are also. Yesh bakter shishim connected the pot at 60 corresponding to the fat. Mutar harotev, the sauce is permitted. Being loud, and if not, it's also. If the gid is dissolved and you can't recognize it, so you also need 60 corresponding to the gid itself. I gotta show you. The shimnoach, so Shulchan explains that when it's dissolved, you lose its significance as burial. But you still need 60 corresponding to it. Even though it doesn't have a taste, it's like a piece of wood. Who Mikamakom nevertheless came to Torah, so since the Torah forbade it, Torah Shishmi is 60. The MSA show me the Shabbat Barah feel Benomino. The truth is that some say since it does have a time, it's batal in simple majority, even something which is not the same species. Kem Shalom on the time, this never gives a taste. That's from Torah's bias. Zamisla Pshita, and this seems to be a simple thing. Well, actually, what he's about to say is simple. The Nishbach, if the mixture got spilled, you don't know if there's 60 or not. In Rakidu Shesham Rov, as long as you know there's a majority, Yesimo there's you can rely on this last opinion. I feel B'Mim B'Shein Amino, even the talk if it's a Mim B'Shein Amino. Yud V'yesh B'Zeh Shela. There is a question here to be asked. Chayereka says she's Bashim Megiddo. The vegetable is just cooked with the nerve. Marashal. Either way, look at it. Im Nimach Tefillah. If it was salted initially together, it's why you ask because it was salted together. You don't need to come on to prohibition because it's cooked. If it wasn't salted to begin with, because it's all aser mitam basar bashlo melicha, because the meat was cooked without salting. Vachua said the answer is the bavadai nimlach tchila. It certainly was salted already. Achamlicha eno says rakadei klipa, but milicha only answers up to the depth of a peel. Even that which we answer by salting, and she's 60. That is because we're concerned that some of the might be a fatty substance, which causes the taste to permeate it. But the fat of the Gina Nasha, Easter Kokoshu, it's a lean prohibition. These bars him kufay. We can't chubalosam masorim the kom min melicha he b'shishim. But here there's a retort. So those that melicha is always 60. The die you should know in 60. The die of the mighty came on chaticha nasa bil shari surim. We all chanan by shari surim imayagi davuk b'yerech. If the gid is still clinging to the thigh. So she shouldn't have called Yarek. Yarek, you need 60 corresponding to the entire thigh. There's a brackets here. Lokasha there is a meshkachas al maratanan Yarek and she's bashal Yarek. She's bashal gidan nasha. Yeshua nosin tam v'chulei. How do you have this concept of Yarek? He's bashal gidan nasha. It's only also has nosin tam. It's an issa davuk. So the Yarek itself, the thigh itself, is also. The Yeshua can say kagosha is bashal raka Yarek hazeh. It's only what we're talking about here is only it's when only this thigh was cooked and there's no sauce involved. Same nagida nasha is bashal im gidim. The nagida nasha is cooked with other sinews. I wrote them in nosin tam. Then the sauce also in nosin tam. Ma'ash gida nasha b'fnei atza b'kedera. That is talking about whether the gida nasha was by itself in the pot for lo b'yorech and not in the thigh. So basically, he's saying, the case of Yerech Shes Bashal Gida Nosha, Ishmael Tam. 1 second. What did we just say here? Gida with the Be'er to Shishon. There's a which has been there, she's much in it. Seen how clear is one of Moshe Margaret. I say that again, no, she's Basham Gitin. You know, she's Basham Gitin Kuya, but wrote him no say down. She knows she be Atzak there of a low by Yerech. Oh, okay, so what's really bothering was the Sefer. The Sefer would say about where we only asked for the road to be no same time, and why don't we count the entire Gid, the entire thigh as being usher? And he corresponds to the entire thigh, not corresponding to no same time the Gid. He says it's about where there's where it's being cooked by itself in the pot and not with a thigh. Rav Kedera Shamark, a pot full of soup. Nafal Sham Birya Nevda, and a birya fell in it and got lost. Also, I call everything's awesome. Shiv Shaitani seen when you can't strain it. There's no Shamark of such as where the soup is thick, or birya Ketana, or the birya is small. Shalber's technique for snacks, which will pass through the holes of the strainer. Came person over therefore this bug which fell into the food. Also, the food is also according to the letter of the law. The brother gets lost in the sauce. You can't strain it out. Even can't even check the meat. Like Dovkabo, maybe it's clean to meat somewhere. But in you can't tell. They cut themselves because it's so small. When it fell into a spoon, you should toss all the sauce in the spoon. This is the simple understanding according to the general principles of Birya. All these Bibles have but there's a caveat coming. Let's see if you design. You base ruckus and mushos cooked vegetables. Which you find 3 worms. I ruckus also in the vegetables are also. Have a mayor shlokos, but the water in which you cook the vegetables, masana, you can strain them. Mutter, the water is mutter. Can a boss so to the meat? You can wash it, be the kettle and check it. Mutter is permitted. The total dominica, worms you can see. Pandemic porridge is not like the little bugs of the previous sif. Paz b'shlosh flame is less than 3 worms. And chashim not concerned. Less than simni chazak only 3 times. The chazak is only if you have 3 worms. The chazkas wormy. Five godly point with chashim kam shnei points. Though sometimes we're chashish for it with by 2 times. It's also chazaka. It's Rebbe Shita by Katlonis. Zebin and sakana. That's in terms of sakana that you should not marry a woman who had 2 husbands who died because maybe you're going to be the next victim. But it's something was prohibited or some monetary issue. Rock with losses even have a chazaka. It's only a chazaka after 3 times. Even through the Torah prohibition. Certainly here was something to Rabbanan. The session in a bata jabir is not bata who made Rabbanan. It's Rabbanic halach, much less see base. If Simon paid out, he's baradinim arbemi toloim. Many halachs of worms were examined. V'sham b'siv ayvam these bar yeshin the hard luchzak b'shlosh toloim. So those say that which becomes muchzak to be wormy has 3 worms. Zel b'toloim abayim me'apriatzmo. This is worms which come from the fruit itself. Over milvin. Milvin is a type of another type of brug. Can be sound about pears which generates in the fruit. But worms come from the outside. It's not muksa even the 3. Those who argue on this, Ayin Sham. They say even if there isn't 3, as long as there's 3, it is muksa. You give a v'da. You should call me. You should in all the countries that we are aware of. You must have kites a rakash matzi v'chom leimachol. In the summer, there are insects and all types of foods. Food elu had a male which she called milbin, especially the milbin ants. But see in Harbay, you can find them, a lot of them. Chomine kemach, all sorts of flour. Chomine grouping, all sorts of cereals. Kachi Yerushalayim said it's almost impossible to escape this. Uvada is reason meticulous people try as best as possible to escape this problem. But it's only perhaps you can do it. And if the medaktikim have a problem, so all the massive is medaktikim. We're not so meticulous. And everything comes to hand. We don't see these insects explicitly. Well, it looks like we haven't gone on one of our big limudei schools here. We're not going to get to it today. So, is that kind of question there over this great Isser? Hashem would not be happy with you saying that about his people. Probably to look for a merit. Though in previous generations have attempted to find a merit in this great matter. So he's going to say what they said and what he believes. And that's for tomorrow.